see this coming. Right? It's a very easy reach. I didn't see the whole thing that's happening right now. I never saw this coming. Maybe others of you did. I did not. I have not handled it well. All right? I've been like a hot mess, not knowing what to do, navigating through it all. And I realized that I needed to do something different. And I started to tell my friends that I had made a change in my life. It was something that I had done 30 years ago, but I think it was time to go back. I was a lapsed Unitarian. And anyone here a Unitarian?
Yeah!
Right, I mean, a Unitarian, you know, like people would say, isn't that like the Rotary Club? And other people would say, lapsed Unitarian, is that like a thing? And I'm thinking, well, I was only a Unitarian for 2 years, that's 3% of my life, but I mean, yeah, I think I can say that I'm a lapsed Unitarian. And I decided that I needed like a bigger community. I just needed to know what I should be doing, as opposed to getting all these breaking news alerts, and then I was just getting overwhelmed and didn't know the next right step. So I thought, I'm going to go back to the Unitarian Church. I went there when my kids were young because I grew up without religion. I'm Jewish, but no religion. Though I was 99% Jewish in my neighborhood, I went to bar mitzvahs every week and when I was 13. But other than that, that was it. And I don't feel comfortable in a synagogue. I feel like a stranger. So I thought, I know some people in the Unitarian. They seem like nice people. I went years ago, and for a lot of reasons, I stopped after 2 years. One was the semantics. One, there's a Unitarian church. I'm Jewish. It's kind of weird saying, where are you going? To church. And, you know, my friends who are Jewish kind of go, really? And then other people, the Unitarian Universalists. I mean, that sounds like a Marvel comic, you know? And, you know, da-da-da-da! And that didn't sound very good. And then now they call themselves the Unitarian Society. Which to me, oh yes, the Unitarian Society. It's like when I first found out that Ithaca had a country club and a yacht club, and I'm like, really? In Ithaca? Like people are that needy to have that kind of status? I didn't get that. But I decided I was going to go again. It took weeks. It took like 3 weeks for me to get the courage to go back again. And I went back, and it was weird. I had to make sure I didn't start crying. And I didn't know why I was going to cry, but I just felt this. And then I realized that the reason I had left was that I had never felt this spiritual awakening in a Unitarian church. And I realized when I was back again that it was the community, it was the congregation that was the spiritual part. Which made, because these were good people, they shared the values that I felt, you know, it was kindness and love and putting energy to action, and I thought all those things are good things. And if you've never been to a Unitarian service, it's like a variety show. I mean, it is nothing like you've ever seen in any other kind of congregation. You've got rotating people who do the sermons, you've got musicians and artists that do the music for you, you've got a storytelling time. And the snacks are great. All right, I mean, let's get down to it. The snacks are great, and I kind of found my people, and I found the things that I could start doing where I wasn't feeling overwhelmed, and that I was doing something that was productive. And one of the things that I was doing was starting to go to rallies. And I had gone to one rally, I was going to the next rally. It was a hands-on. It was on Earth Day in DeWitt, the DeWitt Park. And it was 50-51. With 50 states, 50 rallies, you know, one mission. It took me a while to understand a zip code. I mean, I wasn't quite sure what it was. But anyway, so I went with my previous sign that I had at a rally, and that sign was hands off Social Security. And I didn't know the protocol, the etiquette of rallies. Can you use the same sign? Do you need to do a new sign? So I bring packing tape with me and markers, just in case I can't use the same sign. And the person that was organizing it said that you can come an hour early to make a new sign. And I'm a little compulsive with time. I know, Mickey, I know. I'm always there. I'm always here before Mickey is here. Before anyone is here. But anyway, so and people need, and so I get there early, and people start wandering in, people with families, and I have my packing tape, and I have my markers, and they're in demand. I mean, people are asking me for, so I feel very useful. And then all of a sudden, more people are coming, and then I see a guy that's in the crowd, you know, in our crowd. He has a huge sign, tall guy, and it says, and I have never cursed at a trampoline before, but which means my grandchildren can't watch this, but it said, fuck Trump.
Oh.
You see, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it when anyone does it. There are kids around. You really need, what is it? To me, here, loving kindness, fuck that. So I go up to the guy, and I just said, excuse me, but how do you justify a sign like this when there are children around? And he just lights into me, and he said, you are self-censoring. You are telling me what to do. You shouldn't be worried about me. You should be worried about the other side. And then I said, totally inappropriately, and with a little bit of aggression, a lot of aggression, loving kindness. And then I said, do you have children? Which had nothing to do with anything. And he said, yes, I do, and you can't tell me what to do. And I said, well, I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree. And I walk away, and I do say in my head, fucking asshole. And then 20 minutes later, he comes up to me and taps me on the shoulder, and he said, excuse me, I hear that you have tape. And I said, yeah. And he said, can I borrow it? And I went, really? And I went, of course you can. I'm so big-hearted. And he leaves, he comes back, he thanks me. 10 minutes later, he comes back again. It didn't work. Can I borrow the tape again? I give him the tape, he comes back, and he said, I'm really sorry, but I used up all your tape. And he really was sorry, he was very contrite. And I said to him, you can be really nice if you want to be. And he said, this could be the start of a rom-com. You, me, you. Now, my husband's right behind me, and this guy looks and he sees my wedding ring and goes, oh, you're married. And I said, this is my husband, Dave. He goes, oh, it could be a platonic rom-com. And then he gives me his business card. And I gotta tell you, at that moment, it was like this epiphany. I was aggressive. What was I trying to prove by going up to this guy and just telling him what I thought he ought to do? I was totally out of line, and I realized that between going to the Unitarian, loving kindness, and having packing tape, maybe I don't have to act like such a fucking asshole. Thank you.